Hi, in this video we're going to see about what is test case execution or test execution. So in the previous videos we have seen what is test plan, what is test development, and how to execute the test cases we are going to see in this video. Test execution, you know how to write the test cases. Already I have shown you for the login page related test cases and all. Coming to the test execution, what are all the steps you have written here? Each and every step you need to execute on our application and verify whether it is meeting the client requirements or not, or whether it is getting the expected result or not. So let me take a simple these test cases and we will see. Open the browser. You need to open the browser on your application. So okay, once browser is opened, you need to update here. Okay, browser is opened successfully. My test case is what? My test step is what? Pass. Coming to the second step, URL should be entered. You need to enter the URL in your application. URL is entered successfully. This step is also passed. It should open the login page. Login page, you need to verify with your eyes. Login page is opened or not. Login page opened successfully. This step is also pass. Next you need to verify title of the page, whether it is displaying Chris-Soft or not. Okay, Chris-Soft title is displayed successfully. Perfect. My first test case I have executed successfully and it is getting passed. So test execution is nothing but whatever the steps you have written in your test case, you need to perform all those steps on our application. You need to verify with your eyes according to the test step whether it is working or not. If all the test steps are passed, the test case will get passed. So this is something like test execution. When you can able to perform the test execution? Once you get the developed application from the development team. Once you get the developed application from the development team, then whatever the test cases you have written, you are going to perform these steps on your application. With your eyes, you need to verify whether it is working or not. If all the steps are getting passed, then your test case is passed. If any one of the step is failed, then your test case will get failed. For example, username, password, labels or not, I need to verify. How I can verify? Okay, these steps are common here. Next, for example, password label is missing. Password label is missing in login page. Then what this test case is? My test case will get failed. When test case is failed, what we need to do? You need to report it to the development team in the form of a bug. So like this, how you need to perform the test execution. One thing you need to remember, test execution you can perform only on application. What are all the steps you have written? You are going to perform these all steps on your application. With your eyes, you are going to verify whether it is working or not, whether it is displaying or not, whether functionality is meeting the client requirement or not. If it is not meeting, then if this expected result you are not getting, then the test case is failed. So that is about the test execution in our case. Perfect. Test execution is fine. Next, results analysis. What is results analysis? In the results analysis, you are going to verify how many test cases are passed, how many test cases are failed. You need to analyze the test case results. Results analysis is something like you need to analyze what are all getting passed, what are all getting failed. For the failed ones, what we need to do? The next one, bug tracking. You need to raise a bugs to the development team to get it fixed from the development team. So results analysis is something like you are going to verify all your test cases, what are all you have executed, how many are getting passed, how many are getting failed. For the failed test cases, you need to report it to the development team. That is something like bug tracking. Okay, coming to the bug tracking, different fields you need to enter. You need to enter different fields while raising a bug. I have considered the ALM is the tool. What are all the different input data you need to provide for raising a bug? I am going to give you a clear view on here. So these are all the mandatory fields you need to fill while raise a bug to the development team. What are all the mandatory fields? First one, summary. Summary is nothing but single line description about your bug. For example, let me consider our bug is when you entered your valid username, valid password, click on login. User is not able to log in into a Gmail. That is my bug. Okay. So what is the summary? User unable to log in into a Gmail. That is summary. Next, what is description? When user entered valid username and valid password, unable to log in into the Gmail. That is my description. Some more description about your bug. Steps to reproduce. What steps you followed to reproduce that particular bug? What steps you follow? Open the browser. First step. Second step, enter the URL. Third step, enter the valid username. Fourth step, enter valid password. Fifth step, click on login button. Next. So these are all the steps you need to follow. So what is the actual result? User is not able to log in into the Gmail. What is expected result? User need to log in into a Gmail. These are all you need to enter into the steps to reproduce section. Next, which project you got that particular defect? What is your project? Project name, it is a drop down field. You need to select your project. And which module you get a defect? Login module you get. It is also a drop down. You need to select the module name. So these are all the mandatory fields you need to fill while raising a bug to the development team. Build number, or in case of Agile, sprint number. What is sprint? Next, very important, what is severity? Severity is something like seriousness of the bug. It need to given by the testing team. How much severe that bug is. If user is unable to log in into a Gmail, is user can do anything on the Gmail site? No. It is a showstopper. We cannot do anything. Everything is stopping over there. Then it is a critical or intermediate defect. So total 4 type of defects will be there. Intermediate or critical, high, medium, low. Critical means everything is stopping. You cannot able to proceed further. That is a critical or intermediate or showstopper. High, login is working, but compose is not working in Gmail. That is a high. If compose is not working, you cannot send mail to others, but you can see the others' emails. You can see the sent mails. You can see the trash. But some high level functionality is not working. That is a high. Or low level functionality. You deleted one email from your inbox. It is not going to the trash. With that, user is impacting anything? No. But functionality is not working. That is a medium. Low means some cosmetic issues or GUI issues. Some spelling mistakes, some alignment issues, or some GUI element is missing, or label is missing, or footer is something is missing in that. Those all are coming under low. So severity will be given by the testing team. That will tell us about seriousness of the issue. How much severe the issue is from testing side. That is nothing but severity. Next, priority. How much urgently to fix that issue? Who is fixing the issue? Development team is fixing the issue. So priority, at the time of raising the bug, we will give it, but based on the bugs the development team is having with them, based on that they will change the priority accordingly to their priority. So based on the number of bugs they are having, they will arrange the bugs into their own priority. But severity will be given by the testing team. Priority most of the times will be given by the development team. But while raising the bug, you need to set your own priority over there. But later on, the development team may change it to according to the bugs they are having. They will give the priority to all the bugs whatever opened with the development team. Here also 4 things will be there: intermediate, high, medium, low. Well, next, founded by. Who found that particular bug? Tester name. This is an auto filled column, automatically filled with your name. Assigned to. Who is the developer? That particular bug related to whom? These are 2 ways will be there while assigning. Some projects what we will do is we will assign all the bugs to the development team lead, and he will assign it back to his own team. or if you know exactly who is the developer for that module, then you can directly assign it to that particular developer. So it means that the developer should need to work on it and he need to give us the update, or he need to fix that particular issue. Comments, if anything you want to write it, then you can write in the form of comments. Status, very important column. Status, what is the status of it? Total, what are all the columns are there? What are all the various statuses we are having here is, whenever you are raising a bug, the status is new. For that bug, the status is new. New, it means freshly you have raised that bug. Then the development team will verify that bug. Once they verify it, if at all it is a valid bug, then they will change it to open. If it is not a valid bug, then they will change it to reject. Reject means invalid bug. Okay. So like similarly, fixed, they are going to, whenever they fixed it, it will be fixed, or closed, or reopen. These are all the different statuses we are having. So these are all the mandatory fields we need to fill while raising a bug. We have to fill all these fields while raising a bug. What are all the fields we have seen? Summary, description, steps to reproduce, project, module, sprint number, severity, priority, founded by, assigned to, comments, and status. Okay, so this is about the bug tracking, how we are going to track the bug. In the next video, we will see bug life cycle, how one bug will go into all these different statuses. We are going to see in next video. Okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you so much. Take care.